Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we are talking about everyone's favorite new armament in World of Warships, and that is the Airstrike. So, many of you messaged me on Discord, mentioned it in YouTube comments, emailed me about it, and asked me to give you guys my thoughts on this new armament type. And well, I'm not a CC, so I don't get these ships to test. I am not a super tester either, so I don't get these ships to test. My only impression of these ships has come from what I've experienced playing against them, which isn't a lot because, again, they're just in testing right now, so it's not like they're in every single game, but I have ran into a few of them throughout the past couple of days and over the weekend and such. And one thing that you guys definitely wanted to see my reaction to was the utter destruction of the Atlanta that was featured, not the Atlanta, the Alaska that was featured in Flambu's video about the Airstrike. So I'm going to play the clip here. I watched it on stream with you guys and gave you guys my genuine live impressions of that event. So here we go. I'll let the clip play, then I'll tell you guys my experience with the new armament. Oh, there they are. Oh no! That's a lot of planes! Good God, look at that! And they're supposed to come out in parachutes, aren't they? Where's the bombs? There's the bombs. Oh my God. Yo! God! Oh my God! Oh! Look at that! That's... So you can spam them all at once? So he's got... Oh, he's got Hydro because he doesn't have DFA. So he shoots down freaking 7 of them. And just... Look at that. He didn't even hit him with all of them. Holy crap. Ah. Alright, so as you can see in the clip that... And I'm sure like 90% of you guys have seen this already. If you haven't, go check it out on Flamu's channel to see the full gloriousness of the new armament type. And I'm saying armament type because this is an armament. This is not a consumable, which leads to some of the problems that we have with it. So as you guys saw in that clip, that Alaska got utterly devastated by the Airstrike. Now the thing is, since this is an armament, you can use all 3 charges of it at once. Then it goes on a cooldown timer, well, a reloading timer, and then you can use all 3 of them again. This is my biggest issue with this new armament. That should not be able to occur. That's way too much, as you can see here. In that strike alone, there's 36 planes. And this is one ship, guys. This isn't 3 of them spamming 1 strike each. This is 1 ship spamming 3 strikes. You can get a division of 3 of these ships, and they can all spam 1 target with a little over 100 planes and 100 bombs, which that's enough to nuke any tier 10 ship off the face of the map. Now, this is just the tier 10 consumable, so we don't know if this is what's the... I think they get it from tier 7 up or tier 8 up, so we don't know if this is what the tier 8 strike is going to be like too. Probably not, and to my knowledge they haven't released any information detailing those stats just yet, but it's clear that it's quite strong, and even a toned down version of this for like tier 9 or tier 8 is pretty powerful. And the thing is too, these HE bombs have better pins than Audacious's HE bombs, and that's the Audacious. I think they can pin 46 millimeters of armor, and the Audacious can't, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, so something to note before we go any further is that the devs have said that if this new armament is too problematic, they're completely fine with just throwing it out the window, which I don't think is necessary per se. It can be fixed, in my opinion, with a few tweaks here and there. The biggest and easiest change I see is moving it from an armament to a consumable, with 3 or 4 charges, with maybe an 80-second cooldown time between each charge. I don't know why this has to be an armament and not a consumable. It would be an easy switch, in my opinion, and would fix a lot of the problems. You can send one of these strikes out, and it either hits or misses, then you got an 80-second cooldown time. And it could be 80, it could be 60, it could be 40, just some type of break in between these waves, because this is pretty nutty that you can do what we just saw there in one run by just spamming 3 of these things at one time. So just adding some type of cooldown timer in between rounds. Now, if they really want it to stay as an armament, just add a cooldown in between rounds. I don't see what the big deal is. But yeah, I don't know why they want it to be an armament so bad, or why they put it as an armament and allowed players to do this and not think that this was going to happen. Now, in the video too, the Alaska isn't in the best position. He's parked himself in front of half the enemy team, so there's no doubt in my mind that that guy was going down sooner rather than later. However, it shouldn't have been this soon. The airstrike just kind of sped up that process tremendously fast. But playing against this airstrike, from my experience at least, I've only ran into 2 of them. One when I was in the Smolensk, and another one when I was in the GK, but he didn't even come after me, so I don't have any footage of that. So in the Smolensk, when he tried to come after me, it was pretty easy for myself to dodge him. And now, granted, he didn't spam 3 at once. He hit me with 1, and then hit me with 2 others right after that, and I'll be playing that in the background right now. But since I was in a decent position, I was stern into the enemy team. I had my full engine power at my disposal to move up and back and throttle juke. I was easily able to just speed in and out of his attack path. And the Smolensk isn't exactly the fastest cruiser. It's not a turtle by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a cheetah either. So it takes a hot second for it to stop and for it to speed up, and it was pretty easy for me to avoid the airstrike. But when you are bow in like this in a large ship, like a large cruiser or like a battleship, I can see how this is going to be a major problem if they allow the player to spam 3 of these things at once. Now, the intended purpose of this airstrike was to discourage island camping, or try to dislodge that battleship or that cruiser that's just hugging the island and your team can't get to him, and maybe there's not a CV in the match, or the CV can't get through him to him either. But the thing is too, the way they described it on the stream and in the articles that came out and the dev blogs that came out after, it was not supposed to be able to do this. It was just supposed to be kind of a thing that would encourage the player to move or take a decent bit of damage and not utterly nuke a ship out of existence. And they said it was supposed to have a very long build-up time. The bombs were supposed to fall very slowly, although that's not really present in the ones that I've experienced thus far. You get about a 4 to 5 second warning of these planes coming in. By warning, I mean you have to literally see the planes coming in to you. And then you've got, from the time they drop their bombs to when they connect, again, maybe another 4 to 5 seconds. So I'm being really generous with those timers too. So you have a grand total of maybe 10 seconds to react to this, which, if you were stern in and bow out like I was in the Smolensk, plenty of time in just about any cruiser, even the larger cruisers, to at least get most of your ship outside of that attack path. But if you're something like a battleship, even bow out and stern into the enemy in the direction that this attack is coming from, that's cutting it close. Even with some of the faster battleships like the Alsace and the Republic, and the Georgia's probably fast enough, but most battleships, you're not going to be really able to mitigate this damage. And plus, with the sheer amount of planes that are in each wave, even the most AA heavy battleship will have trouble trying to counter this. And you really do have to shoot down most of the flight to mitigate the damage. Now, yes, the bomb drops aren't very accurate, but like we saw, when you stack 3 of these things on top of each other, it doesn't really matter. It's literally carpet bombing at that point. And they are only supposed to have about a 13-kilometer range from the ship that's launching, at least for the Tier 10. So the ship does have to be kind of close to the target. But, I mean, 13 kilometers, again, at Tier 10 is pretty close. But like with the Smolensk here, I'm on the other side of the island from him. He doesn't have visual sight on me, so he's literally just throwing these planes at me. And it's not like a CV to where, you know, if he throws the planes at me and I'm sitting next to a Worcester and a Minotaur that he hasn't seen, and somehow between the 3 ships AA we just slaughter his planes, it doesn't hurt him at all. because there's not a regen rate for these planes. They just go on a cooldown or a reloading timer, and then you get another full flight, again, ready to go. So it's not even like a CV. And, I mean, look at how the community is accepting CVs right now. So this armament is going to have a big impact on the game, depending upon what they do with it. Because if you have one of these ships, like the Tier 10, the Golden Line, or I think that's what it means, the Golden Line or whatever, you pretty much have a pocket Audacious, well, but with bombs better than an Audacious, on your side. Now, granted, that would be in like clan battles where the players would know what you're trying to do by bringing a Tier 10 Dutch cruiser into the mix. Well, basically, can I copy your homework? Okay, just change it up a little bit, Scharnhorst. They would know what's up, at least in that situation. But yeah, this is, in my mind, this is going to get changed, because if it doesn't, this is insane if they don't change it. And again, like I said earlier, they did say they were up for just throwing the whole thing out the window if it's too problemsome in terms of balance, but I do think they could balance it. Again, just adding those breaks in between the waves, or just making it a consumable and giving you a limited number of charges. I mean, you literally have unlimited planes. Literally unlimited planes on your Dutch cruisers with this. So if they just give you like 3 charges of it, 4th superintendent, add an 80-second break in between the waves, and tone down that insane damage a little bit to where it's more of a deterrent for sitting still rather than an armament that can utterly destroy whatever is underneath it if you spam it enough, I think it could be a good addition to the game. But it's got a long way to go from what we've seen here. I mean, clearly this is going to be interesting to see how long they're going to be willing to test this, or just throw it out the window, or just release it as is. But this is something that, if you're listening, devs, get this right, or just throw it out the window. Make sure you guys know what you're doing, and really, really, really get this as close to perfect as you can before you release it. Because I sure as hell don't want to play against this if this is what it's going to be like when it gets released. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this Airstrike armament. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think they're going to balance? Do you think they're going to wind up just throwing it out completely? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. The winner for the first giveaway ship should have been selected probably this afternoon. So make sure you guys go check the comments on last Tuesday's video. See if you guys won the first of 5 giveaways that I'm doing this week for hitting 25,000 subs. Again, thank you guys so much for all the support and all the new subscriptions that we've been getting recently. It's been awesome. Again, guys, hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.